Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Relatable Stories. It's a pleasure to have our guest, Elder Mimbai Nashe, for the second time on the show. She's going to be telling us about her journey with eczema. We want to raise eczema awareness and also just try to cultivate self-love within ourselves in terms of accepting our appearances. For those that are joining us for the first time, Relatable Stories is or was created to cultivate self love. I realized the gaps between the stories that we are telling and the stories that we are living, and that creates a situation where others live a feeling like they're in isolation and they have issues that they're dealing with alone. But our sisters out there are also experiencing the same things, and it helps us to grow. It helps us to be enlightened. It helps us to help others that are going through the various different situations that we experience in our silos. And so, without further ado, I'm going to bring Mimbai and get her wisdom on this topic. Hi, Mimbai.
Hi, Angie, how are you?
Good, thank you. We're so glad and honored to have you back here. Can you introduce yourself? I already know who Mimbai Nashe is, but there's an elder title there. Tell us about that.
Yeah.
Who is Mimbai?
Okay. I'm Vibai Nashe, Tatienda Gavasa Kahari, now Elder Vibai Nashe Kahari, married to my husband Spencer, who and he calls Pepe and all the others close to him. Um, I'm married to him and we've got 4 children. I was born in 1982. I grew up in Harare. I went to some good schools. Um, Now I'm currently an elder at the church that I go to, which is Glory Ministries International, and very soon I might be Memfundisi. Who knows? I'm also the co-founder of our NPO, which is called School of Empowerment Africa. We are actually running some drives. We ran the Give a Girl a Pet campaign. Right now, we are running the Dignity Pet campaign. That's on another platform, but it's for the School of Empowerment. I'm also lobbying. Now I'm thinking of being quite active on lobbying for eczema awareness. So I'm really have to work on that. I'm thinking of having a page and just to educate people and help those with eczema and or those who look after people suffering with eczema.
Oh,
That's about
wow.
Rebecca. Yes.
Wow, Mimbai Nashe is an amazing woman. She's doing a lot of things. We are
Yeah.
blessed. We are blessed to have Mindfulness to be Elder Vivainashe here to tell us more about how you got on top of your condition. So without going into the story itself, because you did tell the story, I just wanted to know what is eczema. Because there's some people that probably just don't know what it is. So before you go into your story, tell us what it is.
Okay. Eczema is a skin condition. It comes out. Okay. What I know, if you go on Google, they usually give you the
Mhm.
description that applies more to the light-skinned people. But when you're dark, your skin doesn't go red as such, but it does change in color. It also comes out as a rash. It comes out as cracks. It comes out as scaly skin. So it does come out in different forms for people, but for me, I think I've experienced it all. I've experienced cracks. I've had the rash. I've had the scales. So it does come out in different. It also has different severities. It can be quite severe. It can be quite mild. So and
Okay.
also there are quite a number of types of eczema. I won't get into that, but there is it's broad, because it does affect people in a different way. But I think today we'll talk more about what I have, which is like the lifetime eczema, whereby it starts when you're a baby and it carries it just sticks with you until you're an adult, and
Okay.
it's not going anywhere anytime.
That's for me very educational because I also actually thought every eczema is exactly the same. It's just sometimes you manage to treat it, and so what you're saying is there's a chronic type, and there's also there's a type of eczema that can be treated, and you can actually grow out of it.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
so
there's actually types to grow out of, yes.
okay. So speaking about a condition, skin condition, whether you grow out of it or not, I feel like as a woman, or even anybody really, there's emotional sort of journeys that we go through because we are living with something that affects our physical appearance and how people see us, how people relate to us. I would like for you to actually just tell us how that emotional journey played out for you from the time that you were young. Let's say maybe when you didn't actually know what was going on, you just knew that your skin was itchy. How did that make you feel as a child?
Oh, okay. So I think as a child, I had a lot of support because my mom was in the medical field, like I said last week. So she was a nurse. So she really did have sort of a know-how on how to help me. But the thing is, um, as a child, you also want to do what every child does. You want to
Yes.
play in the grass, you want to run around, you want to chase each other under the sun. But now, with this condition, I couldn't do that because the minute I tried to step on the grass, I'm already scratching. The minute I try to run around, that small sweat is already making me itchy. So that meant that
Mm,
I had to not play with the others. Um, I could react to dust, mavuchayo would make me
mm,
itchy and I'll get a rash. So it was also one of those things where I grew up in a sort of a bubble. You had to be in a sort of a bubble. Then you also can't eat what you want. You want ice cream, but you can only eat the ice lollies because they don't have milk. But you want the ice cream cone, which is milky, because I was
everyone.
really allergic to milk when I was growing up. I only started drinking milk really like religiously now that I'm an adult. But I hardly used to have milk in anything of mine, no yogurt, no cheese, all that. And then there's also that thing of you feel like you're missing out. And I think up to now, I don't eat eggs. I think that's one thing that I've never. Okay, and eggs are delicious. I cook eggs for my husband and the
Yes.
kids, and they smell really divine, but I can't eat them. And then there's fish also, which is quite highly highly allergic for most even people without eczema. They react to fish, so I also don't eat
Yes.
fish. But as I was growing up, because the doctors were trying to see exactly what was wrong with me, they had to add and remove until they really got to a point where they now knew, okay, she can't have this, she can't do this, she can't do that. Yeah, so
Wow.
now, um, as a child, also, I had the advantage that, as a child, normally your mind is just you are in your you are innocent, if I may put it that way. You are not
Yes.
too aware of what is happening around you because you're always looking up to someone like your parents or someone. So but still, as a child, I was exposed to a lot of trials and errors when it comes to eczema, because my mom was, in as much as she was in the medical field, she also got a lot of advice and quotes from people
Yes.
who thought they knew about eczema. So it was quite a bit of a it was quite a bit of a journey, if I can put it that way, where she it was at times you see the things that were tried on you didn't work, which they'll try to implement again, and then you react. So it was a lot of trial and error. But in terms of primary
Yeah.
school, it was great, and I think
So
I left primary school at 12. Yeah.
yes, I was wondering, during that time, you said there's things that you wanted to do as a child that you felt you couldn't do. Did that stress you at all? Can you say that you were in a position of being stressed, or it was good that you had your parents or you had your siblings that were protecting you from the external or from everything else that was going on.
Hello. Sorry about that.
No problem.
I I don't know how can I put this. I'm trying not to be harsh, but at some point I felt like I was being left out. You get it?
Okay.
Because there were things that my siblings could do that I couldn't do.
Right.
So there were functions that my siblings could go to that I couldn't go to. And so there were so many things that happened when I was growing up that made me feel like I don't belong.
Mm.
I
So
felt
you
like
didn't understand it from a point of view of
I'm the black, I would call it the black sheep of family. Maybe not because I've grown up and decided to go elsewhere. Evaluate everything and I sit down and think, I'm like, okay, so that's my action. It was, why are you leaving me out? Why are you in places and not going with, you get it? So I remember I used to even throw fits and cry and scream. And now I think it came from a good place. But also at
Mm,
that time, I really felt rejected, so to say. But but I don't think they were rejecting me per se. They were also protecting me in a
yes.
way because they'll be thinking, okay, if we go with her to the party, how are the other people going to look at her? You get it?
Mm,
And,
yes.
and then how are they going to react? Okay, if you are going to introduce her to a new person, how is the person going to react to you first? You know those
Right.
kind of things. Now that I've grown up, I think I now sort of understand where they were coming from. But
Yes. But
primary school was
so
good
do
because
you?
also
Yeah, I still want
continue.
to get an understanding there where obviously definitely your parents were trying to protect you, your siblings were trying to protect you from the foods and from other people, the stigma around. But when you were exposed to that, did you ever experience stigma as a child where you actually felt you're different and you didn't like it?
Yes, I did, especially when I changed schools. Because at primary school, I changed schools the first primary school I went grade 1 to 3, then grade 1 to 4, then I changed grade 5 to 7 to another school. So when I changed, it meant new environment, and then it meant, because I think at the former primary school, because I was already used to the people there, and the people were
Yeah.
already used to me, it was okay for me to have said it, because I think even if you've got good skin, you've got sort of your own clique, your own
Yes.
friends that we have, even if there are two or three. So I had those ones. But now going there, it was harder for me to make new friends. So and then that's I think I became more self-aware then, and then that's when I realized, okay, the skin, and actually that's the year. Now that you said it, that's the year that actually my eczema really flared up on my face. So I think it's also the stress that comes with it, because
Right.
eczema with stress they don't go hand in hand. You cry, you just make it worse.
Mm.
You get angry, you just make it worse. So it was one of
Yeah.
those. So I feel, um, and also when we went out, we were spoiled to, so to say. We used to go to the that time yanga chiri kushamisira water
Yeah.
world,
Yeah.
the greenwood parks, when they were still nice and beautiful. So you would go there with your family, then maybe you are then told that you are not allowed, you can't go into the water. And then when you're playing, you can sense kuti people are going around you. They can't really tell you that move, but they are
Yeah.
avoiding you in a way. But because you've got your family around you, you really don't care. So I used to be exposed to all that. Even in as much as I couldn't get into the water, I would still go there, see my brother and sisters enjoying themselves, and we come back home.
Mm.
So I, I actually don't have much pictures when I was young, because I remember I was very conscious of my skin.
Right.
I would hate. I actually used to hate cameras, and I think last week I told you I used to hate mirrors. I had my own technique of if I get into a public bathroom with mirrors, I've got my own way of avoiding looking into a mirror.
So did that
So
start? Did that start at a very young age, like
it
before in
started when I
primary?
was 10. It was 10 because the thing is, um, the night that my face got um, got a bad reaction, the first time it got a really, really bad reaction. The previous night I had the rough night. I had been feeling itchy my whole body and all that. So I
Right.
woke up to a very puffy face and scratched, and it had passed and serious. It was crazy. So much that I woke up thinking I'm going to school, only for my mom to say, "No, you can't go to school. I'm going with you to the clinic, to the
Right.
hospital," because my mom was the matron at a particular clinic. So when I went to the clinic with her, because she was now trying to go and get me treatment as soon as possible. So what happened was I I went to the bathroom. I didn't know the bathroom. I don't know anything. I don't know anything. Now I can see that vision. It was scary. So you can imagine if it's someone who's
Hmm.
not. This is like I told myself, I'm not going to look into mirror until they tell me because it was one of those things that I go through. I even have one picture. I think one or two pictures when my eczema was bad. At school, I used to always cover my head because it was also in my hair. I think you can tell my hair at times does react to my head, but that time it was bad because I at times I would literally have no hair, and so it was. The pictures that I have, I used to do, I don't even look at them that much, and two or three of them. But I used to avoid chances where they are saying, let's have a family photo, let's have that.
Hmm.
I would always find a way to avoid that because it was already irritating me already irritating me that I've got this condition,
Yeah.
and now to see the evidence, it was a bit too much.
Too much for you.
And then also as a child, I got exposed a lot to a lot of when they're trying to figure out what's wrong with you. There's a lot of pricking and a lot of lab testing and all that. So up to now, I'm really scared of needles. But you can never get to a point where you are not scared of needles. But I think I've got an extra fear because it
Yeah.
was just too much of that
Too much.
blood being taken and all that. So as a child, I think I went through. But I think as before high school, it was better because I seemed to have a better support system in terms of even the primary schools, the teachers, and my family. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I'm now hearing, it must have been very traumatic. I mean,
So
at the time, you couldn't. There's things that you just see and you notice, and you just can't. You just can't articulate it, like you can throw tantrums, but you cannot make it change. And
yes,
that was very stressful. So going next into the next phase, high school, where you now understand that you've got a condition where if even the children that are or the your peers can actually say to your face whatever they feel like saying about your skin and all of that. How did that season go for you? Was it, like you said, it was more stressful? How was it more stressful? What are the emotions that you went through during that time?
okay. So uh, high school was more stressful because one, okay, I already had this eczema. Ne? Then I'm going to
Yeah.
high school is a different school, which means different support system, different teachers,
Hmm.
different everything. And now, when I went to high school, uh, the teacher, the some of the teachers were not as accommodating, if I can put it that way, as primary school. Or maybe some people think maybe I was spoiled or something, I don't know. But to me, it's nothing to do with defense mechanism or anything, but it's to do with I felt like it was like an attack on me, especially when I couldn't do certain things because high school is more demanding, it's more
Yes.
subjects. Like in Zimbabwe, we grew up with 4 subjects. Then high school, you just double up to 8 or 9 subjects, and then yes, I was naturally intelligent and I could try to do as much, but I got into trouble a lot because of my assignments, which almost got me
Right.
kicked out of school. And also high school, people are blooming, and some are getting attitudes, and then all
Mm.
the things are happening, and now my blooming came with pain because the breasts are
Yeah.
coming out. It's supposed to be a deeper time, but it's now a painful time because the eczema has just gone to the breast and it's attacking the breast as well. And your breasts are sticking to your t-shirts, they're sticking to your tops, and it's also not it's also a bit it, it's not conducive, if I can put it, where let's say you go to school and then the next
Yeah.
thing your breast have become open, you need to close, make sure your breast close, and do what else is going on.
Yeah. And then it draws
So
attention to it draws attention to you as well, because
think when then the still could be you need yeah, and it draws a lot of unnecessary attention that you don't want as well. And then now also
yeah.
there's the treatment that they want to give related to eczema. And so I remember my post story actually made my family do that up to the point of where they put the lemons in my eyes and every part of my body because he claimed that is the only way I can be cured. Only for me to get worse. I really got bad. It got
Whew,
poor thing, if I can
Vimbai, we
say,
lost you. We lost you there. We lost you
between
there.
yeah,
We
can you
lost
hear
you
me now?
there. You were talking about how you were made the Mapostori prescribed the lemon, and that made everything worse.
Yes,
Can you hear us?
yes. So now it meant that we had to go back to the medical because now we sort of hey, can you hear me?
Yes, but you froze a little bit. I think the network is now trying to go against us again.
Okay, let's try to say okay, let's continue. Today to behave. Okay,
Okay.
so it was it was sort of go medical and the apostolic thing. So you go there, then they make it worse. Then you have to go back to the doctor. The doctor is asking what's going on. Why are you doing this and all that? So they went through they went through
Yeah.
a lot of emotions in high school. I'm here and I'm still standing and I can still tell my story. But all I can say is, at the end of the day, we figured that it's all about how you can control it. Because also,
Mm.
especially when you're sickling, you also have feelings. You've got a crush on that boy who will never see you. You've got these emotions going back and forth. But I think it's life. So as I got out of high school and went into tertiary, into college, I got to a point where I thought that I would never be able to date. I told myself, okay, this skin is ridiculously bad, and the best thing I can do about this skin is to focus on myself, focus on my school, and focus on my church. And like I said last week, I had a very good support system at church. So if I was in a school or home, I was at church. Yeah. So I was active in youth groups, Sunday school groups. Uh, I used to sing in the choir. I used to play the timbre. I used to play the wushu. I grew up in the Salvation Army. Um, so that was then. And also, let's talk about dating with eczema.
I actually wanted to
Angie, yeah,
get there because I was like, okay, so it seems like high school was more difficult because there's a lot more that was being tried. There's less understanding from your teachers, and your peers are obviously
yeah,
flaunting their new bodies and their skins
yes,
and everything. But you also have unnecessary attention on you where your breasts are also now starting to get eczema, and there's all these things that everyone knows about this lady or this girl who has a condition, and that
yeah,
must have been difficult. And like you said, it was difficult for you to even continue to perform because you had some episodes where you couldn't go and do your
yes,
assignment at home. You were busy
yes,
with paying attention to your skin. I mean, it must be
yes,
difficult, and I think the situation there is apparent that our educators were not educated enough to be able to cater
yes.
for someone with such a condition. But yeah,
I,
going into
on that, I feel like people are not as aware of eczema as we think they are, or maybe they were beginning to be more aware now, because it's yeah, okay, fine, it's not I don't know, but I feel like it's a disability in a way. Why am I
yes,
saying that? Because we talk about the cripples, we talk about the deaf and dumbs and all that, but your skin is the largest organ on you, and if it's being
yes,
affected, believe you me, it affects the way you operate. It affects
mm,
the way you view life and everything. So I feel like maybe with time and with more awareness, people will understand that, okay, yes, this child is trying to be as normal, because you try to grow up as normal as possible. But
mm,
in as much as we are in the same class, you if it's let's say we're in summer, you're going to be able to wear your shorts and t-shirts. But if I wear my short and my t-shirt, everyone is going to stare at me. So that
yes.
makes it hard for me to do that. So I will come in school in my tracksuits, but that will make me what which will
Odd
make
one
me
out.
irritable. Yeah, already I'm okay, I'm already the odd one out, but I'm now becoming irritable in class, which makes the condition even harder. So maybe if
Mm,
we could educate our educators and on how to handle people with eczema, because
right.
uh, yes, treat us, we want you to treat us as normal as possible, but there are times when we also want you to understand that yes, we want to be like this, but we can't.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
right now I'm having a flary season, so I won't be able to. Because
Yeah.
there are times when you'd go for PT, but yes, you go, but at the end of the day, when everybody has come to class, everybody is okay, but you're the one who's itchy, you're the one who's scratching. So
Yeah.
maybe to have a school where there are showers, and you always carry your creams, and maybe your teachers always make sure it or comes to ask you, you're feeling itchy, did you take your medication today, do you need to go to the bathroom, do you need to go and take, because at times you actually feel like taking a shower in the middle of class
Yes.
because
And
you are just feeling itchy and all that. So
right.
it's one it's one of those things, but I don't know if it will ever be addressed, but it's one of those things that I understand now when you see a child with eczema struggling with their school, because yes, they want to do their homework, but they've come from school, they are sweaty, they've been exposed to pollen and dust. The one thing they need to do right now is to take a bath, take their medication, and wait for the skin to stop being irritable so that they can concentrate, because you can't concentrate when you're itchy. You will never concentrate when you're itchy.
That's true. That's very
Yes.
true. And I
So
also,
it's
I think I was thinking as you were saying that there's certain things that give the child without a condition an edge over you. Like, for example, they can go and do sports, they can enjoy the things that they love
Y-
doing. They
Yes,
can, yeah. So when you have a condition, you're restricted to doing that. You can't even compete in sports sometimes, and you don't even have other you don't shine in those areas as well. Like some
yes,
children might not be academics, but they shine in the sports in the sports area, or maybe
yeah,
theater. But you cannot do all of that because you're self-aware or your condition goes
yes,
against it and all of that. And so you're if we understand, if people would understand that there's certain things that have been taken away from you that make you different, and that will probably
yes,
make you show up differently. It would go a long way in helping you cope
yes,
with the fact that you are different.
yes. But
But
yes,
yeah, you were talking about dating. Now
oh
you're going out of high school. Even in high school, I think there's people already dating. Like you were saying, someone
yeah,
you've got a crush on the boys, but you've told yourself, I can't even attain this guy because my skin is like this.
they will
How did
never
that make you
notice you.
feel? How
Oh,
how
okay,
did that make you feel?
okay. All right. So, dating and eczema, I could say, okay. What can I say? I'm a pretty person.
Yeah.
So on a good day, in a good month, my skin would be clear. Ne? Then
Hmm.
you meet Mr. X. Then Mr. X likes you. You start chatting and all that. And then somehow maybe that week you just came across something that is crazy, and then he says, "Come, let's meet."
Right.
And then you are thinking, okay, should I cancel? Should I go? And then you're like, oh, okay, what the heck? Let me go. And then I'll talk to him because you don't just say as you meet, I'm Mr. X, you know what, my name is V and I've got this what. You still
Yeah.
want to see how it goes because also you are trying to be as normal as possible.
True.
So now the next time this Mr. X sees you, brother X waona sisi nasi vauya vane rush or his skin is grayish. You won't see him again.
Has
Then
has that actually happened to you?
several
Did you,
several
have you
times.
been,
Yes, I've
now
been
people call
ghosted.
it ghosting.
Yes, oh yeah, I've been ghosted left, right. Now I now that I know it's ghosting, I've been ghosted left, right, and center. Yes.
So do you think
But
that the guys were ghosting you
you
because they didn't understand what was going on? Did they ever try to understand what's wrong with your skin, or they just went quiet and then you just knew this probably
no
because
no.
my eczema had
Um
flared up?
yes. Okay, if they try to understand, they try to understand from a distance, but those but
Mm,
they just ghosted me. They just went quiet, or they'll just stop. If they used to pass by your house, they'll just stop. And we grew up in a time where there were no cell phones. It was landlines or
yeah.
letters. Yeah, we are quite old. So it was one of those where, okay, but then in my mind, I think I got to a point where I prepared myself for never having someone who loved me for my skin. I got to a
Mm,
point where it's better to accept, but where you accept that no one can love me. So
right.
I got to a point where I was like, you know what? Okay, fine, my ex is bad, but at least I've got my family, I've got my church, I've got my education. I love school. Yes, I've been, like I said last week, I was unable to finish my qualifications, but I was telling myself, okay, when I start feeling better, I'll be able to do my qualification. God willing, I might get a job. I'll just work and grow old. That is what I was thinking to myself. But
Hmm.
like I said,
You know what I'm picking up? I'm picking up
yes,
that you were always hopeful that like there's in the future there would be a difference, like you would be different. Did you ever think that things could remain constant and you would have to just deal with what was there?
yes.
So
I think
it didn't
after
give you
I
the
gave
feeling
birth,
of
that's when
doom.
yeah. Okay, the thing is, the doctors kept hoping for the best. They kept saying, okay, let's see when you turn 13. Let's see, okay, like the first time is when you turn 6, then when you turn 13, then when you turn 18, maybe 21. Or,
Yeah.
okay, let's try to control it now. because I ended up not going to a dermatologist. I ended up going to an allergy specialist because the
Okay.
dermatologist were the eczema had overpowered them, if I can put it that way. Everything they were trying to help me with wasn't working anymore. So they to refer me to a higher. So I went to an allergy specialist. That's when
Mm,
we actually sort of got a breakthrough, but the breakthrough came with side effects because I was on steroids, and steroids have got really bad side effects.
right.
So that's also around the time that I met my current husband. So as we are
You
saying
say current
dating,
husband as if there is another one.
no, my okay, current boyfriend, my husband. I can't say it's current, like as if there was ever another husband, Taura Shako. Because okay, what happened with him was it was more of a fascination with because okay, he meets we met at a wedding, and then he
Right.
meets this girl. Okay, she's this dark, but she looks like she's got issues, but she's vibrant.
Right.
Because each time I was around my church people, I was vibrant, and I was in Asha at that wedding. I was talking a lot, and I was helping her. So it was more of a fascination with what's up with this girl, you know. So
Yeah.
that's how we got to talk, and then that's when he realized that I think this too falls under dating with eczema. So he actually did his own research to know what is eczema, what causes it, what. So it was more of a fascination, and so
Yeah.
he was dating his own people, and I was sort of like, okay, you know, there was a point in my life when I thought I was dating someone, and yet you was what do you call it now? Friends. I was friend zoned,
Friend
yet I
zones,
thought we were
yes.
dating. Yeah. So this guy, I thought we were dating, but actually I was a friend to him. So
Yeah.
to me, I thought, but yeah. So when I met my husband, I was always talking about this guy, and we were talking about his people, and also so because we were both churchy people, we used to have a lot to talk about. And
Right.
then this guy, he figured out, okay, me, I won't be able to deal with this. Let's call him Mr. K. So
Yes.
Mr. K figured that I won't be able to deal with this, but I can't tell Vibai that because I know that she will react badly. So
Yes.
I'm just gonna run away. So he left the country, started a whole new life and all that. So he sort of that I then realized, okay, because he left without even telling me. I only realized from his dad that he had left. But anyway, uh, it's life. But at that point, I'd already accepted that I might get rejected because of my skin. I knew that
Yes.
rejection could come, and I think I'd already um, gotten a thick skin because I was now in my 20s. So
Mm.
I'd gotten a thick skin where if you like me, for me, fine. If you don't, it's okay. I've got my church and my family. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it has much
But you
it has
continued to put yourself out there anyway, because that's for me that's the interesting part, that you were
yeah.
ghosted a lot of
I,
times.
yeah, but I put myself out there, especially at church. At church, it
Okay.
was easy to put myself out there. So that's when you would meet some of these Mr. X's, ne? You have
Yeah.
met them. Let's say you have gone to a youth camp and you have met
Right.
them there, Yeah, and then now we are trying to see where it takes you. Then, Mr. X can't take it. Or even, let's say you're in the wood, you have just gone to the shops, you meet some guy. It's dark, so you really didn't see how your skin is looking that time. So you tell him, I live at such and such an address. So he comes into town very close, list for number 14. I'm looking for Vibai. Then the Vibai comes and it's like, no, I no, don't. I wasn't looking for Vibai. I think I was looking for Tamara. And then I like, okay, Mister, I understand where you're coming from. It's okay, but
Yeah.
I also got to understand that it wasn't their fault.
Yes.
And I also somehow I thank God for that because I wouldn't have met Mr. Right.
I mean,
um,
yes,
yeah.
definitely.
So in a way, I thought, oh,
How did Spencer's or Mr. Wright's approach differ from everyone else? Like, I mean, because I don't, like you said, you thought you were friends, you weren't even looking at that because there was another distraction there, but that
yeah.
one roasted you. How was that different, and how did you manage to trust? How did you manage to trust that he was there to stay?
Okay. The first thing was he was so fascinated. It was strange because all the other guys never used to ask me about my skin. So how did it start? What are you doing about it? Have you seen doctors? What are they saying? He was
Yeah,
always inquiring and wanting to know. And also because I was this churchy person, he started inviting me to saying, maybe let's pray about it. God will
yeah,
intervene and you would encourage me and all that. So it was it, it started as fascination first. Then I think you also got to understand, okay, you can never get eczema from touching a person like, and okay, this person has got a character that I like. She's outgoing, she wants to
mm,
know things, but yes, she might be restricted by, she can't get what she wants. She's been telling me that she can't even get a job, but at least she's trying. When
yes,
I remember I wanted to, I sent a CV in a particular cafe. I don't know if you know Eastgate in Harare. There was
yes, yes,
an
yes,
internet
yes.
cafe there. They posted a job. I sent my CV, and they liked the CV. They even said, "Come, we want you to start a." Then I went. Then they were like, "Are you we buy the shares?" It's like, yes. And they had to go and regroup and talk again. That's, no, you know what? We are sorry. We ended up having to give your position. They tried to be polite, but I knew that it was because of my eczema. But then you you it hurts. I don't lie. I've had jobs that I
Yeah,
lost and
yeah.
I've cried for months, and I've had to still get out of bed and carry on. But it's one
Mm.
of those things. But so he was always fascinated, and also when I met him,
It's breaking up again now. Um, the last thing that we heard was that when you met him, oh,
I
the
think you know
network.
this of Shinami, the way they so hello.
Hello, we froze again. You were
Hello?
telling us about how when you with the time that you met your husband.
Yes. So now also, so he was trying to figure out that how can a person with such a condition also be running a family business and also be losing jobs and still carrying on as if nothing happened. So
Yeah.
it got from fascination to friendship. Then we used to talk a lot on the phone. He even nicknamed me Phony because we used to talk a lot on the phone. And then gradually he asked me if I was okay with trying. Then I told him, you know what, I've been disappointed a lot of times. I think I've told you about it. Do you think you'll be able? And then he said, okay, let's try. We'll take it one day at a time. And so that's what we did.
Yeah. I think in this
So
situation also, like, I
one
see
day
how
at
he got to
a
know
time,
you.
hello, Angie.
I can hear you now.
Yes. So he got to know me better, and then so I think also at that time that's when I had now gone to the allergy specialist. So he was with me throughout that journey where they were trying to figure out exactly what treatment to put me on. It was painful and hard and emotionally exhausting. So with my my elder sister there, God bless her. So I think I've got the best sister in the world. Um, she was there with me the whole journey, from the time I was still a child, and now I'm
Hmm.
an adult. I still have to go through all this. So we so now it was also him beginning to understand, because I think he was thinking, if I'm going to take over this, I need to understand where it's coming from and where it's going. So they were there, the two of them, and with my mom as well. My mom always supportive until we got something to manage it. So the thing with the steroid is, when I was taking them, my skin would literally clear, no scratching, no which is unlike me, because I'm naturally a small person.
Yeah.
So I started getting a lot of weight, and there were a lot of other side effects. Um, and then at school, at college, I was also going to college, and then I was also now failing to write. I think now that I've understood my journey, I think it was also the stress that comes with the exams that were making it hard for me to go and write. Because you want to
Yeah.
study, you want to make sure that you pass, and then exam is also telling you that, oh, you want to stress yourself. Let me show you what I can
Mm.
do. Then you flare
Yeah.
up, and you can't go and write the exams. So I ended up giving up on that. And then at least now there was something good happening in my life, where I had this guy who had accepted me for me. And
Yes. Yes. And I think
he
also
was
in that
even saying, okay, if we reach a certain milestone, I think we'll get engaged. If we yes.
Okay, we didn't hear almost everything there, but I wanted to just talk about how
Hello, Angie.
the acceptance.
I can't hear you.
Let me know when you can hear me. You have frozen now. Bimbaya, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay, good. I was saying that I noticed that
I can hear
the
you.
all right, cool. I was saying I've noticed that the fact that you had someone from the outside accept you or love you
Yes,
with
I can.
with the
I can
condition,
hear
I
you.
feel that's can you still hear me? Um, they the network is now
Yes, I can.
just gotten worse. I don't know if
Now
you
that
can
someone
hear
from
me
the outside
now.
is accepted, you are saying that, yes, some.
Yes. So I noticed that
I
your
can hear
journey
you.
your journey throughout
I
dating or
can.
all right, that's okay. So I was saying I noticed that your journey throughout the time that you were starting to date was full of rejection. It was also very emotionally draining on the treatment side because there was you were constantly having to hope that things are going to get better and then you had to crash again and because obviously then probably you hadn't noticed how stress was directly affecting how the skin would look the stress the roller coaster of emotions would have just been worsening the situation and then you failing to get things that you wanted that you thought you know what would fulfill you like maybe passing your exams and all that was just an additional stress but then finding that someone can get to know who you are and then love you despite it probably then gave you more confidence to accept the fact that it's okay for me to live with this disease and be and still attain whatever I want in my life. So I wanted to hear from you based on all of that, how you think things would have been different had everybody taken the time to know who you are and looked almost like look past your skin condition and get to know who you are. How would that have played out, and how can people become that or be that for anyone with a skin condition? Vimbai, can you hear me?
I feel. I think if yes, I can. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Hello, Angie?
I'm still here and I can hear
Yes.
you. You
Okay.
can go on. If you can hear me, please, you can go on.
Yes. The fact is, you still have that eczema, and at times, the workplace is a jungle. It's a wild journey on its own altogether. So maybe if people would be more understanding out there, especially maybe the HRs or something, where even if I come with my eczema, and remember, you love the way I conducted the interview. You loved my CV, but will you be able to work with me with the eczema
Mm,
in the workplace? And they said yes. But what to guys? But it's because you can't, or because you are just going through a season. Like if it's if your skin has just flared, you know you can't really do your work in as much as you are good at your work, but still
yeah.
you know you're competing with people who are 100% healthy, and you're not healthy, and your KPIs are being matched against the same thing, which is a bit unfair, if I can put it. But for me, I feel like I always try to put 120% out there, because I know that I
Yes.
need to push myself more. But if only people would understand that, because unfortunately, your skin is the largest organ you have, and if it's affected, it will just definitely affect you. For me, my self-esteem is just come. I've learned to love myself more. I actually tend to read more positive articles, because there was a time when I was like, God, why do you keep on waking me up each and every single day when I'm in this pain? And
Right.
the other thing that kept me going was, I met a lady. She was in her 30s that time. I think I was 20. I was in my 20s. She came to me and you said what? And she said, you know what? I had my eczema all my life, but now ever since I gave birth to my first child, it has gone. So I
Right.
also had that hope, especially when I was dating. Okay, that if I get married and I get my first child, I'll, it will go. Of which it didn't do that.
Yeah.
Um, and then mothering and eczema, it was also another totally hardball game also, because my breasts were cracked. I had to breastfeed people
Yes.
who had come into the world, and I started with twins, and the pregnancy was extremely high risk. I was bedridden most of it, and if you see pictures from that era, they are scary, because my eczema flared. My hair fell off. It was something else. But somehow I've managed to be a mother, and managed. I think all my 4 children have all uh, I've all breastfed them, but it has been hard, because there are days when you wake up, and yes, the breast is cracked also. Your child needs fluid, and now you need to lose it, but I can't. You need to wait a bit. You need to wait a bit. You need to wait a bit. But somehow you learn how to go about it. Let's say you learn how to live about it. You to accept that there are some people who are simply, there are some who always think that, oh, we can't work with this, which is okay. I went to a work at a place where somebody kept asking me, "What you put makeup?" I'm like, I can't put makeup. Not that I don't want. I would have loved to. I think in as much as I've got eczema, I'm also a woman, and you go through all this of wanting to do that, but I can't. And then also the other thing I wanted to highlight in today's episode, if you it's really expensive. One small tube of your cream can cost anything between 200 and 500 rand. So imagine if you're not
Wow.
working. and you're a mother, and you are
Yeah.
surviving on one salary. That salary has to cover for the rent, it has to cover for your medication, it has to cover for the children's so it becomes quite crazy. So I just want to thank God that my husband, being the guy he is, he made sure that I got into the public health system where at least I get subsidized treatment. But I still pay, for those
Yes.
if I go if I'm to go for the extra test and all that, I still pay. But although it's cheaper, but there are people out there who are not in that system, who have
In
to
that
fork out
position. Yeah.
3,000
Yeah.
rands just to be seen. You are not seen by the GP, you are seen by a screen of 3,000 rand. It's a lot of money. So if you don't
Very
have a
expensive.
job, you are literally screwed. You can't do anything.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
you can't manage the food you eat. You can't eat certain foods. There's certain foods that you need to eat. Like me, I'm not supposed to drink milk from the cow. I'm supposed to drink your almond milks and all those fancy milks,
Yeah.
but they're
Special milk.
expensive
Yeah.
and we can't afford that.
Yeah.
So I Yes. So I will just drink the cow milk and get my reaction and just apply my creams and take my pills because that's what it is. It's a very expensive disease to maintain. And for those who can afford the creams, they will tell you that for them to be able to maintain a clear skin, it means you need to buy creams that are one prescription will cost you 2,000 or 3,000 rand, and it will only last you for a month. Next month you need to refill, you need to go back to the because they want to see you every month so that they can access your progress. They can see, and let's say you get a flare up, you need to go in an emergency. So it's really
Yes.
really expensive, and
I think
without
also
money,
the stress. Yeah, there's now. So before we wrap up, because I see, like we were saying, this is like a very broad one, and I definitely you need a page
it
for
is.
this. But I wanted you to explain before you go, like in a nutshell, because we talked about how stress actually affects the condition, right? And you are now bringing to the table another stressful another
Yes.
stressful situation, which is finance, that comes with it as well, especially as you grow older, as you
Yeah.
start to do it yourself. um so what
Yes.
then happens? Because there's you can't run away from the stress, because there are other extremes that you just can't run away from. And there's I mean, community and your family can help you curb the stigma and get you can get yourself to self-love, but you cannot run away from the fact that this condition needs to be maintained by money. And then there's the stress. What are the effects of all the stresses that you've come across, and what can we do to curb them?
Okay. I think for me, I will talk from my personal journey. For me, what I've done is I've looked for option B, if I can put it
Okay.
that way. Let's say I needed to use a certain cream, but I can't afford it. There's no money. So what can I do? I need to look for plan B. So for me,
Mm.
plan B is always Vaseline. Your normal Vaseline, it works because it's very neutral. Don't use the perfumed one.
Yeah.
Especially the pink one, it activates the skin. Use the natural one, or maybe the aloe vera or vitamin E one. But I've opted, if I run out of creams, I just go for
Yes.
Vaseline. At least it's available on the
Okay.
market and it's cheap. But then it doesn't alleviate it
Yes.
at least it makes your skin, you don't get too dry. But at times, you can't really do anything. You just have to go to the doctor.
Yeah.
It means that maybe you're going to have to ask for funds from your parents or your siblings or something, because there are times when you just have to go to the doctor, or you just have to buy the cream that you need to. um so in as much as you try to also look for a plan B, with eczema, you can't run away from the fact that you need your medication to control it. And just
Mm.
like your insulin for the diabetic people, you also need those creams and those allergy tablets and all that for you to contain it. And also, like I said in the first episode, eczema comes with your hay fever and your asthmas. So
Mm.
you also
And
need
the
your
low BP
inhalers
that
with
you were
all
talking about,
that.
how does the low BP come into that? Because you did say something
Yes,
about
yes,
how you
yes.
end up getting
Yeah, I think the low BP came as a result of the stresses that I'd been going through.
right.
You even went to see a psychologist because it was so stressful. I was so stressed. I felt like my family didn't love me enough. I felt like the world is just, why is God not taking me? I think I was almost near suicidal, but I don't think I was ever suicidal. But that fact that you are like, why is this not going away? Why does it keep coming back? So all that stress does tend to affect your body, and your body. I think we all know that our body reacts differently to stress.
To stress.
So
Mm.
I think they when I got pregnant with the babies, I can actually feel it at times when it gets too low. So as you grow up, you grow a thick skin. You tell yourself, you know what? If it's stressing you, laugh it out, laugh it off, or just don't go there. If you know that this
Yeah.
person will rub me the wrong way, just don't go there. So that's how I've managed to stay clear.
Vimbai, do you think that
Yes.
it would help, or it would help the people that are living with eczema to start being exposed to therapy, especially at a young age? Do you think that your support system needs that kind of help, or we can educate people to get to a point where they can have these conversations? Because it seems to me like you had your own personal coping mechanism, and you are a strong person, very resilient, but it seemed like you had to shut down some feelings in order for you to be able to maneuver through life. It was that it doesn't sound like it was completely healthy, but it helped you. Would you recommend something different for for people that might not have such a thick skin and are not able to shut down
Yes.
their longings and desires to be normal?
Yeah, I actually feel like just like we have got the support groups for people with albinism and all that, we need to have a support groups for, because it's not just straining on you as the patient, it's also straining on the
Yeah.
parent. Like my mom, each time she sees me, she's like, you know what? At times I'm always like, God, how did you get here? Because all my babies don't have eczema so far, so it's actually a miracle on
Mm,
its own. So um it also stresses your family, so it also stresses your support system. It stresses you. So maybe if we could get to a point where society accepts that, okay, we have got this, and then maybe we've got our support group or whereby you know that if you're feeling overwhelmed, you just go there, and you also meet people,
mm,
okay, who are like you. Because like people with Down syndrome, their parents go for that. The support groups, they meet and they talk. Diabetic patients have got that.
yes,
Albinism people have got that. A lot of other conditions, but I think eczema people have sort of normalized it, but it's not normal. It
yes,
affects us differently, and for me it's been brutal, and I've yet to just grow a thick skin and move on. But there are times when I feel like, you know what, but I was better than that person that stayed at the job. But why did they stay? Yet I was better
yes.
than them.
Mm, mm. No, totally. I think that it's a good thing that you're going to start a page and you start to raise awareness and even make it into an
I
NPO. I would
never
totally,
got
I totally agree with you that
a written warning. I never got a warning at all, even a verbal. Yes.
yeah, I mean, I've seen it. It's like obviously it's unfair because the people don't take into consideration what you're going through, and this might be coming from a place of ignorance or a place of just not being aware. And it is now the time for us to start advocating for anybody who's got a condition to to be heard or to be seen or to be treated fairly in terms of taking into consideration the limitations that come with having a skin disease. I mean, by put it so well that we never realize or we never look at it as skin is actually the biggest organ that we have. And if you've got a broken leg, you struggle, but imagine if your skin is broken, there's pain or there's itching of the skin, you are definitely not 100%. And we should consider that as educators, as parents, as peers, as sisters, brothers. And we should also be able to consider the support around them, because these guys are financially, emotionally strained as well, trying to support their family member or their friends. I have learned a lot today from Vimbai, and unfortunately, our network is just not helping us get to the bottom of this issue. I'm definitely bringing her back again, but this time probably we'll have it in one place so that we all have we get a chance to hash out everything. There's things that Vimbai told me that she wanted to share that she hasn't been able to share yet. However, like I said, guys, we all understand, we all know how our physical appearances affect us. But at the end of the day, the resilience that Rimbai has shown, and how we have seen love blooming, and how love can conquer all. Like, she found a man that saw her for who she was, who looked past physical appearance. And for me, that just goes to say or to show that love is all we need. And so, if we could love each other, we could love each other so much that we have compassion for each other, that we could love ourselves the way that we love others, we will be able to move past that. It means that we'll be able to advocate for ourselves, even in the jobs or in the areas where people don't understand our conditions. I hope that you have learned something. I hope that you can relate. If you could relate, you have taken away the positive vibes that Vimbaya brought to the table. And for everybody else that has ever had to deal or is dealing with skin conditions, you're not alone. We all understand that it's not vanity. It's just life. It's just the way things are. It's hard to overlook something that is in front of everyone. And if we could have these conversations openly, if we could have support groups where people are allowed to talk about their feelings, it would go a long way. So yeah, let's continue to spread the word. Let's continue to spread awareness and to love each other and uplift a sister. Have a good evening.